this whole thing that came out with the emails, Fauci's emails, and media storm, and definitely not the purpose of this to become in any way political. But it's very interesting to notice that people's intentions are very interesting. And people are like, wow, so what is actually going on here? What is actually true? And it's completely fascinating, I think, or not fascinating at all, that the Torah portion this week deals with what the famous episode of the spies, which is where Moses chose a bunch of very established, credible figures, and they went out to check out the land of Israel. And what they came back with was all of these bad reports about the land. And the crazy thing was that different commentators explain how could this have happened and all of this tragedy that ensued. But different commentators suggest that one of the fears was that when the Jews went from the desert to Israel, so these important people would cease to be as important. And as a result, they gave a bad report, which would slow down, uninspire, create a reality where they didn't go forth. They didn't do what was in society's best interest. And the consequences were very catastrophic. Practically speaking, how does this matter and why does this matter to us? First of all, we live in an age where information is, we don't know. We don't know. And so it's as important to figure out where your information comes from as it is what information is actually being said. Whenever people tell me stuff, I always smile, and then I say, oh, cool, so where did that come from? And what's your source? And where do they get that from? And what's happened is over time, I've had to train myself to get really dialed in as to who is saying it, what their direction is, what are they dealing with? And I see this a lot in terms of the work I do with different clients and leaders, is you might see something and someone gets up there and they look a certain way and they act a certain way. The reality is their motivations are completely different. And so the blessing that we have, the lesson that we can learn from the spies is, you want to pay attention to and give credibility to more who the person is saying the message than what the message is actually being said. And once you know that the person or the source of the information itself is credible, so then you can pay attention to the information. I don't think anything is more relevant than that concept.